Now to thread the machine, you're going to place your spool of thread onto the spool pin and then hold it in place there with the spool cap. Press the spool cap firmly against the spool. Now grab the end of the thread and just give it a little tug. Make sure that it unravels easily. You don't want it to unravel so easily that the spool spins wildly around, because that will just lead your thread to tangle. So that is about perfect. And just as with the bobbin, you're going to bring your thread over and through this first thread guide. So wrap it towards the bottom and then pop it up. Now you're going to bring the thread towards you. With the thread towards you, grab this extra bit of thread back here and just hold it to keep it tight. You're going to want to slide the thread down through that thread guide in between the two discs that you see there. Now that we've brought the thread towards the front of the machine, you will see that there are some arrows indicating where the thread should go next. So we'll draw the thread down and then we'll follow this arrow around the thread guide. So now that we're drawing the thread around this metal part into the thread take-up. So draw the thread up here, get it on the back side of the thread take-up, and then you want to draw it towards the back of this, and then while pulling down, bring it forward. And it should go right through that loop. Now that we've brought the thread through the thread take-up guide, we're going to bring it back down through this little slash here and behind this bar. So there's a little opening at the back of the bar for you to slide the thread through. So while holding the thread with both hands, just take one hand and slide it around the back. Pull it down and it will slide right into that hole. The next step is to slide it through this little tension bar there. And then lastly, through the eye of the needle. I clip the end of the thread just to make sure there's nothing strange or any fraying on the end of the thread to make it more difficult for me. So I'm going to pull a little extra of the thread and then guide it through the eye of the needle. Once it's through the eye of the needle, I'm just going to pull a little bit more out and allow it to rest there. The next step is to pull the bobbin thread up. So I'm going to lower this front panel of the machine. And you remember that we have our bobbin and bobbin case in the correct slot. The bobbin is wound and there is a loose thread hanging down here. We're going to want to pull that up in between the feed dog and up to the top of the machine. So hold the end of this thread with one hand. I'm just going to draw it around the back. We have a little give here. And turn the hand wheel for the needle to go all the way down to the bobbin. You might hear the machine make a noise like that. Don't worry about it. Keep turning the needle, or the hand wheel, one full rotation. Once you've turned one full rotation, pull on this thread. And you'll see that little loop there. That's your bobbin thread pulling up. Grab your pair of scissors, slide it under there, and pull the rest of that bobbin thread out. Now your machine is threaded. Close the bobbin cover, close up the front of the machine, and you have a threaded sewing machine.